sometimes, we just say, is that a coincidence? No, it can't be a coincidence. I'm in Dallas for a couple of days, and thank God for the technology at the iHeartRadio Beehive down here, and all the people have been so helpful. I'm able to connect with you, and I'm connecting right now with somebody I believe is also in Dallas, which is weird because we could have been in the same room. But, I think she's talking to a lot of people this morning. Catherine Mars is joining us today. She wants to talk about a story that it just outrages me, and it's the story that bubbled up a day or so ago. It was covered on The Blaze, and the headline reads, Harvard rescinds acceptance letters for 10 students who shared vulgar memes in private chat. Now, vulgar memes is one thing, but private chat and the fact that Harvard heard about it and rescinded admissions scares the heck out of me. Good morning, Catherine. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you, Michael?
I'm super.
Welcome to Dallas.
Yeah, how about that? Well, I got a little experience in this town. It's not something we can discuss here because of, No, I'm kidding. But I've been here before. I spent a lot of time in the state. I love the people of Texas. But you're a person who has extensive experience in helping people and kids get into college. And
yeah.
and this is an area of expertise for you. But how does this story affect you? What does it hit in your brain and trigger in your brain?
Well, first of all, I think that it hopefully was a wake-up call to teenagers to pay attention to what they post and how they use their social media. And in answer to your outrage about the issue, well, it was a private group site. Well, I'm sorry, even private group sites have, it was for the class of 2021, and not everybody in the class of 2021 thought that the posts were appropriate either. And that's how it got to Harvard's attention, was somebody in that group post, in that little page that they had set up, was offended. Well, for good reason. What those kids were posting was very inappropriate. I mean, it's something that I would be appalled if a student in my office said it to another student. It just isn't nice stuff. It's rude. And so I frankly am pleased that Harvard did that. I think Harvard had every right to do it. I wouldn't want any of the colleges that I work with to tolerate that kind of behavior and tone from students they had admitted, because it will be a reflection on the college.
Well,
and so I think that it was in their right.
You make an interesting point here. However, the Fourth Amendment guarantees us privacy and the right to privacy. So you're now saying that and you did say that one of the other members of the group exposed it.
Yes.
I think this also sets up a litmus test, however, Catherine, that would then allow Harvard the right to say, we need to go through all of your social media postings, and we need to see. And I bet you those professors couldn't stand up to the same test.
Well, they probably couldn't. But here's
so
the
shouldn't
point,
they be fired? Wait a second. Hold on, Catherine. Shouldn't those professors be fired then if they can't stand up to the same test? Shouldn't they be denied the right to use the Harvard name?
If Harvard requested from a professor to see all of the social media posts that they had done, then it would be the obligation of the professor who's employed by the Harvard staff, paid by Harvard to teach, to see the social media. Harvard requested from those students, each individual student, for them to share what they posted. Harvard didn't go up and steal it or get it without permission. They asked those kids to share it with them.
I understand what you're saying, that Harvard has the right to ask. But I also understand that, a fleeting expletive and...
it wasn't a fleeting. I'm sorry, it wasn't a fleeting. There was a whole series of issues that those students were talking about, and they were very derogatory.
And they were about, let's be fair, they're about race and feminism, and they are things that you and I probably...
And about socioeconomic disadvantaged people.
And you and I would probably never, ever, ever make those same comments. But we are talking about 18-year-olds. and kids hoping to get into Harvard. So do these 10, and I understand what I completely understand what you're saying, that Harvard had the right to do it and you can support it. I am a First Amendment guy who believes that without the First Amendment, we're nothing as a country, that everything,
I agree.
That everything else goes. Do these students then have a right to go after Harvard and say, wait, you accepted us? And trust me, income is severely hampered when you lose that Harvard stamp. If these kids had gone through Harvard, we all know. I don't know where you went to school. I went to Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas, a fine school. But I guarantee you I'd be part of a different club if I had a Harvard degree. And I think these kids are now disadvantaged.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think these kids are going to be fine. They'll go to another school. Hopefully they'll learn a lesson. And I think that they truly will be fine. And if they want to go to Harvard, they can have an opportunity to go to Harvard for graduate school.
You think Harvard would accept them after rejecting them?
Oh, I think later, down the road after they grow up. This is all about maturity and judgment. It
Sure.
is not about whether they, I mean, we all may say things that we regret saying later. We all have done that. And we also, yes, I agree in the First Amendment 100% as well. But when someone is viciously putting things out, even if they're doing it, quote, to be funny, it's not funny. And so I think that when you're 18, you've got to start acting like a young adult and being able to manage and control yourself and what you say and how you say it, and to think before you speak. I don't think there's anything wrong at all with what has gone on. I think it's a great wake-up call for teenagers. Because when I'm working with teenagers, the number one thing I want them to be is mature enough to be successful when they do go to college. And to me, this was an element of, no, these kids were not mature enough. They weren't thinking clearly.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And there are parallels. I wish you are so good. And you bring up such solid points. And I would love to continue our discussion / debate. Time constraints of radio always kill me. But where can we follow and find out more about you, Catherine Mars?
Well, you can find me at Mars, MARRSCAA.com. That's Mars College Admission Advisors.com.
MarsCAA.com. Fascinating discussion, fascinating debate. We'll agree on some and disagree on other points here. But I certainly appreciate the fact that you bring your experience and your knowledge of this field to bear on this discussion. And I appreciate you for being here with us this morning. Thank you, Catherine Mars.
Well, thank you, Michael, for having me on your show. Wow. Enjoy Dallas.
Thank you. What a cool discussion. We'll disagree on some of that, but we'll agree on other parts of it. Mike Opelka on News Radio 1450. And we agree that we need comedy. So you need to call 302-395-9456, 302-395-9456. Tell me a bad dad joke. It could win you that $25 gift certificate from Vino Vita at Fromage. Let's check traffic and weather on the 5s.